Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Whiskey Entitled. Today, we'll be talking about, well, not my pixelated face, but we're going to be talking about how to throw whiskey parties, whiskey tastings, whiskey events. We'll do it all. Let's do all of it today.
All of it.
On the Whiskey Entitled.
It looked like a perfect segue, dude.
Roll the,
Done. Didn't even hear that part.
title screen. It's already rolled. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Let's do this.
Awesome. All right, man. Since it's a drinking show, what's in your glass, man? What's in your glass?
Whiskey. Thanks for asking.
All right. What kind of whiskey? Brown? Brown whiskey? In a see-through glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This glass is actually waterproof. You see
Hey,
this?
Kim. Waterproof.
Amazing.
That's the second time I've heard that this week.
Yeah, no, it's because you watched my interview with Denver and Liley, and I can't see the chat.
Yeah.
So that's what's in my glass. Hi, Christina. I won't say what's in my glass until we get to what did you buy this week. So...
Okay, sounds good. All right, so for me, as you guys may or may not know, I was hanging out with Michters most of the end of last week.
What's that got to do with what's in your glass?
Because I'm tasting this. Barrel Strength Rye, which I love so much.
You to say that? Hashtag ad.
Hashtag it's not an ad, bitch. Just saying. I even have to put that in my freaking thing. This is not paid for. They did not pay me. I just enjoyed it.
Bojan?
And to be honest,
Bojangles?
I told Pam that I did not like the toasted rye, and she said, different strokes. So, but I told her I love this, and legit, I am looking for more of this.
Yeah, no, you should have let me know before.
My bad.
Also, don't worry, Steve. Christina's doing fine because her mom is doing acupuncture on her face.
Ooh. Burn. We're done for the day.
It
Done.
wasn't a
Story's
burn.
done. Story's done. Story's done.
It's legit what's happening.
All right, so that's what I'm trying, and then I just want to show this off because I got my first bottle signed by anybody. So
Wait, is that the 2016?
this is the 2017 bottle, the one that she actually did.
I hope it tastes better than 16.
It tasted better than the 16. I had the 16. I gave it away.
I told you 16 tasted like. That was no good.
Yep. All right, and then let's go into bottles. And since you haven't told us what you're drinking, what bottle did you buy that you?
I am drinking one of the bottles that I bought this week. I spent $158 and change this week.
Nothing for him.
Those of you who are wondering, huh? You spent nothing?
That's nothing for that guy. 150
Oh,
bucks.
well, just saying. Some of us actually buy our own whiskey, so.
I'm hurt.
So I tried this in San Francisco.
Yep.
Didn't like it. Trying it again literally right now. I literally just broke the seal on this and started pouring it in
Nika
my glass.
straight from the barrel, by the way, guys. If we do
Yeah, it's
podcast.
Nika straight from the barrel at 51.4%. It's okay, but I mean, for a blend from Japan
Cast strength.
for $65, it's all right.
You know what's really interesting? I want to try that to the one that I actually got from Japan, because I have one in the back there that was from Japan like 2 years ago. I'll love to see if it changed. That'd be pretty cool. So that was your only 150 bucks. That's pretty high too.
No, it was only $65. I bought another bottle.
Oh, okay. Then go for it. Or you want to go me? You.
So Steve, yeah, it opens up a little bit better. It opens up like smooth butter. It's nice. It gets really a little more viscous. And I bought this finally.
Oh,
I wanted this real bad. Got to taste it in at the Edrington headquarters in New York last week. They sent me a sample. Did I talk about that on the show where the sample was dirty and nasty? It looks like it had been rolled around on the ground. Yeah, so it looked really gross. So I didn't drink the sample they gave me. So I just went and bought a bottle. My local store got one bottle of the Valknut. Yeah,
That's
they got
weird.
one.
Was it accidentally in like a
It's
bunch
not,
of other?
because my local store is like a really small. A lot of people don't realize my local store is a small spot, but they get a lot of nice bottles because some idiot who goes there keeps on ordering like ridiculous bottles. So yeah, they get a lot of nice things there. But the Valknut, this is really good. So a lot of people who didn't like the Valkyrie because they thought it was a little harsher version of what's going on at Highland Park right now.
Yeah.
The tartan barley they use in this, it actually adds quite a bit of sweetness to it. And at 46.8%, I mean, you can't complain about it being a hundo.
Yeah.
So it actually tastes really, really good.
Huh. So and
My
that
favorite so far of the weird so the Valknut is part of a 3-part series. You've got the Valkyrie.
Hashtag not
you got
ad,
the
by the way.
Valknut. Valkyrie, the Valknut, so good. And then you've got the Val Odin, which is coming out next year. I don't know if that's common knowledge or not, but I've already been told by by Highland Park when I was at their headquarters.
Is it Valhalla next?
If it's the last. So Valhalla is the place where the Valkyrie are taking you. Valknut is the
That tattoo.
allegedly the tattoo that you get as a warrior when you die, and then Val Odin is who you're gonna see when you go to Valhalla. So the next one's supposed to be Val Odin.
I always thought it was gonna be Valhalla, but okay, I get it.
Nah, they've already picked out the packaging and everything. I didn't get to see the packaging. I tried to get a little sneak peek, but they were like, no.
And I don't think it's I know it's a tattoo, but I thought it was when the Valkyries touched the person, they got the tattoo on them.
So funny thing, if you read about the history of it on the internet, which I did today, no one knows where the flip it came from. And actually, it's from what I read, Valk and Nut is German for warrior something, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but like then the Norse tried to take it, and then so they specifically use like one of 3 different types of triple triangle symbols that are used, and the triple triangles stand for like 9 different words that stand for like the Viking whatever
history time with Wally.
You can literally read about it online. There are YouTube videos. I may have watched a couple. You can literally read about it and see what's going on with the Valknut, where the story comes from, and all that jazz. But to me, it doesn't matter if it's pish posh or not. Again, at the end of the day, it's just like age.
Yeah.
I mean, it's NAS, so it's just like age, though. It could be the name. It doesn't matter to me. Does the whiskey taste good? Yeah. All right.
Did you get numbers from the people over there, like what the year blends are and stuff like that, or?
No, I didn't ask them for specifics of it. Actually, we did a lot more talking about the weird acquisitions they've made, like picking up Wyoming, which I thought was weird, but their whiskey tastes pretty good. I'd never tried Relativity before, and I got a chance to try that. I really want to get a bottle because the bottle's pretty looking. I don't care about the whiskey's okay, but the bottle's really nice. What else did they pick up? They had a couple other brands that I didn't know that were in Edrington's profile that I was like, all right, I'll grab it. Like, can I have some?
Yeah. All right. So let's start off with the one bottle that I thought you would have had already, but I guess I got it first. The Macallan Classic Cut 2018 version.
Oh, I want to side by side that with a 17.
Yeah. So, tasted this.
I haven't been out to look. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I haven't been out to whiskey stores lately.
I was able to taste this yesterday. I haven't tasted 17, so I have nothing to compare it to.
What's it taste like?
But it tastes good. Like the basic sherry Macallan, like light. It wasn't as robust as I thought a cask strength would be.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the color it's gonna be light. Like I thought it was gonna be like a sherry hit and stuff like that, because that's what I'm assuming what Macallan at cask strength would be. This was light. I didn't get an end. Like I didn't get a. It
depends on if they use American oak. It depends on if they use European oak. Like, oh my gosh, they.
Yeah, so it doesn't tell me which oak it uses here.
No, it's going to be a blend of those oaks from the distillery,
but
they're not going to say.
It's good. $100. Yeah, it's a cheaper Macallan, right? Unless you're going for the 18 and stuff like that. I'd rather have the 4 than this.
Yeah, the only thing is the 4's not like, oh my gosh, could you imagine 4 at cask strength?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I bet that would taste
amazing. Side by side, I would take the 4 over this one. So this is just FYI. Yeah, it's a pretty color. Yeah, not as pretty as the next color that I'm gonna pull out.
Please keep that in your pantalones.
I know, right?
Oh, there we go. Oh.
So Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. So
hey, Jason,
I didn't particularly want this bottle this year. I told them that, hey, if you have somebody that wants it more, give it to them. But my store is nice enough to say, hey, we have an extra one, pick it up. I'm like, sure. Basically, he told me was how much money you want to spend. And I'm like, I don't mind. What is it? And he said, I got this. So just for all transparency, I'm actually going to be giving away to one of you guys in the chat and someone else on Instagram. So if you're in the chat,
samples.
Yeah, I'm going to give a sample to one of you guys if you guys are interested. Let's say, what do you want to put in the chat? What are they going to put in the chat to?
Wait, how much did you pick it up for? I'm curious.
$100.
Speaking of a hundo,
yeah,
that's it. That's not bad.
$100.
I may have grabbed one for 65 last year, but whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing,
it's
right?
Costco.
And this is whatchamacallit. This is like retail pricing. So
yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want one, let me know. I'll see if I can ship it to you guys. I just want to share it because, to be honest,
send a sample to Curious Jen.
Yeah, Jen. There you go. Man, how the hell am I'm sending it to Canada, then I'm sending it to UK, man. Like, I'll see. But yeah, $100.
$100.
And then
so ridiculous.
The last one I have is one of our buddies.
How many bottles you buy?
I got 3 this week.
What's that? It's Compass Box. I see from the top of the bottle.
Okay.
Compass Box what?
What is it?
Which I can only see the top of the label.
I know. What is this, guys? Come on. Where is it?
Single double? What is this? You can't... Oh, I can't tell. Oh. Whatever. Moving on.
Tonight's Poison's bottle. So, yeah.
King Street. Yeah. I saw it.
So, what do you call it? Tonight's Poison, which I think is great that Instagrammers are trying to do their own bottlings and stuff like that. So, I'm very, very excited. Excited to see how it tastes. If it tastes great, awesome. If it tastes like shit, damn Tomato Poison. Come on, in. But yeah. No, just... I personally, I'm gonna put this on the YouTubes. I really want me and Wally to pick a barrel one day. So
That'd be fun. Let's do it.
and we can film the experience. Maybe bring some of you guys along. But see, like, and if you like this, yes. If you don't, okay. But it's just the fact that Instagrammers, just like what it whiskey, not whiskey, no,
Whiskey Library,
Whiskey
DC
Library, DC,
has,
those guys.
they've done like at this point,
that's awesome.
6 or 7 barrels.
So I'm hoping.
I'm not saying that we're doing one right now that's 100% malted rye that I also bought in on, but whatever.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. So I'm very happy for him. Good luck. Hope it does well. All right, now
That's awesome. Now on to today's topic.
Today's topic.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah. All right, hosting whiskey tastings.
Yeah, I didn't know what you wanted to put for this because I mean, initially I thought of regular whiskey tastings, but then I was like, wait, do you want to get into like the way corporate people do it and that stuff, or do you want to cover all of it, or what do you want to do?
So on this episode, I kind of want to do like, let's say if you're in this chat right now, you're most likely the whiskey person in your group of friends. If they're not all whiskey people, right? So a lot of times it's either a text message to say, hey, what do you want to buy, or what can I buy for this price, or I can't find a bottle, or what's a surprise bottle for my dad, mom, whatever, right? So since you're the go-to person, they're probably going to say, hey, we have 5 friends over, 10 friends over, we'd like to do a whiskey tasting. So that's kind of where I want to start, just to help these people out and just to lay down the groundwork. I know you're chomping at the bit, but for me, the first question is always, what type of tasting you want to do? Do you agree on that one, Wally? No? You don't? All right. What are you going to say? Go for it. But yeah, Jason, good job.
I don't ask any questions.
You don't?
So it depends. If they're people that I know that have never tried whiskey,
yeah.
So I've it's funny because I've gotten to try everything. I've gotten to try tons of people that like whiskey. I've gotten to try tons of people that don't like whiskey. I've gotten to try tons of people that have never tried whiskey, which is fun. So if they're never try whiskey people, I will literally grab stuff that's friendly to them, stuff that's not friendly to them, everything from non-peated to peated, sherry. Like I try to get everything from the entire spectrum that I can get into like a 6-bottle agenda. And then I'll take that,
so 6
and I'll
bottles is your limit.
Yeah, because your palate can only handle so much, and I like to do them in pairs.
I'm surprised
so 3
6,
pairs,
but okay.
3 pairs gives you six bottles. Yeah. So as you're explaining to them the first pair, by the time you clean up all your glasses and everything like that, they're ready for a second pair.
Gotcha.
You can give them the second pair, and that way they're only doing like really 3 contrasting sets of flavors, and their brain doesn't have to like go into overload mode. So that's what I like to do with like, super never whiskey.
Let's do that then. Okay, so you got two whiskeys, right? So what do you pair? Do you do total opposites, polar opposites kind of thing, sherry and peat, or do you kind of put something similar, single note? So what would be your first pairing if you had to do that?
So it depends, but you can do both, because when you have a beginner who's never had them, even 2 that taste kind of similar actually will show their differences even better. Like that's what's nice about contrast.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of people do that, like for sure. Whiskey and 6 is streaming, so it'll get busy later.
Oh well, it's all good.
Yeah, Curious Jen, she gets it. It's like you just mix everything up. Find out does a person like peat? Do they like a sherry? Like
don't agree with
some people like Steve. They like a bunch of ex-bourbon barrels, which sometimes give good flavors that are sweet American flavors, and sometimes they're boring.
Yeah, you're Mr. I want to try everything different. So, okay, so you going through for let's say I'm there learning beginner. You first pair. What is it? Is it usually just like something from the same family, like Glenfiddich, for instance, or Balvenie, or Laphroaig, or whatever, or do you kind of give them different things from a bourbon and a Scotch or something like that?
So if they're people who've never had whiskey, I'll mix it all up. Just mix everything up. Yep, it could be. We could see if they like boring bourbons.
Gotcha.
We can see if they like cask strength things. We can see if they like scotches. All over the board.
So that's how you're picking the bottles. Now, let's say we got these 2 bottles, right? Let's go. Since I have these, right? Macallan, then these 2 bottles, right? Do you guide them through this experience?
Of course. Oh, of course. Because you have to. So if it's somebody who's never had whiskey, you have to start all the way at the beginning. If they've never had whiskey, you're not giving somebody something that's 40%. And then expecting them to live, because they're used to drinking wine, right?
Yep.
When they're like, oh, I had a rough day, I'm drinking some wine, whatever.
Yep.
So like 9-12% tops. They're not used to drinking like 40%. So the process, we take it for granted because everybody in the community here, we've been doing this for so long, like drinking whiskey, we understand like, oh, of course I'm going to keep it in my mouth. Of course I'm going to keep it on my palate. Of course I'm going to let my saliva mix with it and bring down the proof a little bit. You already know this. But to a beginner who's never had whiskey and has only seen people do shots, it's just going to be like, burp. And they're just going to ruin their palate, or they're going to be like.
So you basically tell them you teach them how to nose it, taste it, and stuff like that.
If it's a total non-whiskey person, I assume that they need to learn everything from the beginning.
Do you tell them how it's made and stuff like that, or you just talk about more the spirit first?
Now, if it's a non-whiskey person, we'll talk about basics. It'll be like basic flavors. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, this tastes like literally, like a touch of buttercream over, almond marzipan. No, if you're got a total beginner, you're gonna be like, this tastes sweet, this tastes
Okay,
sour.
so you go basic right there. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you have to. But I mean, if they've never had whiskey before, for them, that experience is already gonna be overwhelming to their sensory.
Yep.
So, making it as simple as you can with flavors, they can obviously delineate and pick them out later.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that right then and there at first tasting.
And then, you're going through those tasting stuff. Do you tell them to pick stuff out? Do you encourage them to do things, or do you kind of like just trying to lead them first and then let them kind of talk basically up? If you know what I mean.
What I'll do is I'll let them talk about it first, and then I'll start talking about it, because what I hate more than anything is auto suggestion. So if you go to larger corporate tastings, especially from like some of the bigger brands, you'll have people do exactly what you just said. They'll be like, "Oh, can't you taste the?" Bleh? And all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, auto suggestion." You're like, "Oh, I can taste the." I taste the
bananas or whatever that's on the ripe day and stuff.
And so like it makes it difficult for people to really think that it came from their own minds. And then with those big groups like that, with the corporate tastings, you have like group think happening. So one person will say, "Oh, I taste this," and everybody will think they taste it. And that's just, it's not conducive to really exercising your own palate. And figuring out how you taste things.
And with Jason Whiskey Wise, that's a great way to do it. He does 2 scotches, a peat and a sherry, so it teaches them that. A bourbon teaches them the sweetness for that, and then a Japanese, and then a grain. I wouldn't even think about a grain, but
I would throw a grain in there unless there's going to be something like hedonism or something that's like that gives really, really expressive grain flavor.
Yeah. But
really obvious.
And I kind of feel bad for Welsh Toro. Even his mom's telling him that when he does those pretentious tasting notes. But to be honest, I think when I was in that whiskey tasting this weekend, at the start, a lot of people were shy just because they didn't want to be that person that didn't know like other people. And to be honest, when I think about tastings, if there's no dumb questions. How it's made, what's like. Don't worry, someone in the other room is probably also, hoping for that same question. So I still ask beginner questions at tastings, because even though I know it, I know someone would actually take that information and move it to their tastings or stuff like that. So feel free. Like when you're in a room with a bunch of dicks, man, I'm sorry, dude. Just say fuck them. Just like whatever. You're there for you to experience. That's the reason why you're there. So to learn. Anyway, in my case, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a huge thing that I really, really like about bringing whiskey to regular people. It's like all the pretension that comes along with Scotch a lot of times. It's unfounded and it's unnecessary. When are you both coming to the UK? Next year, hopefully. Cross your fingers. If everything lines up, we should be good.
Next year, yeah.
But just like getting people to understand, like, hey, this is for everybody. This isn't for only the people that can afford, a bajillion dollars. Yeah. Like anybody could save up $20 a week. And in a month and a half, like you could buy most of the bottles in my collection.
Yeah.
And at least having resources like Instagram and YouTube, you could be like, oh, well, I'm going to go get, this one because they say it's good. And like, that's the way to do it. And I know the secondary market's not supposed to be like a legit thing, but if you have friends, like I'm one of the friends that I know, if I give a recommendation to a friend and they're like, I didn't like it, I'll literally be like, give me the bottle and I'll buy it from you. I'll literally buy it from you because I know that I like it. I'll take it right off your hands because there's no sense in you wasting your money.
Yeah.
Spend your money well, go find what you like, and that's okay.
And then a big tip that I've learned from is like, if you guys want to do if you want to do a tasting or host a tasting, a lot of people don't mind chipping in, so you can just get a pool of money together, buy a bunch of bottles that people recommend or whatever, and then do a tasting, and you guys can all learn at the same time. So like for me, there's a lot of whiskeys I haven't tried, and I love to go to tasting just to see those things, and I don't even see notes that people take. Oh, it's like pineapples, this and that. I'm like, I don't taste that. And, me and Wally, we taste the same whiskeys, but we don't get the same flavor profiles because we've had different foods. We grew up in different places and stuff like that. And it's all unique to you. So, yes, we're both Asians, but we're not that type of Asians.
No, I'm just laughing about how, like, miraculous it is that I can even taste this whiskey after having, like, Trinidadian scorpion chili.
So people say that usually, like, spicy foods and shit just, like, kill your palate.
Yeah.
I don't eat spicy foods, so...
Yeah, actually, that's a really weird segue, but appropriate. If you're going to pair stuff with whiskey, I know Macallan's doing a giant push right now for mac and cheese, so Macallan and cheese. And that's fine if you like fancy cheeses and if you love cheese and you're not lactose intolerant.
Hey, Eric, wait.
Scott. But Scott. say you are lactose intolerant and you just want to bring like regular things to the table,
it's okay.
Like other things that you want to pair with it. You can pair whiskey with any kind of food. Just be aware of the strength of flavors from the food and how that's going to affect your whiskey. And if you don't know, as a host, it's almost like your responsibility to try it ahead of time,
Yeah.
so that you know, oh, this is going to change this like this. So you don't look like an idiot when you're like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry about I had this smoked barbecue that's been smoked for 12 hours. I didn't know everything else would be so smoky. It's like,
and guys,
seriously?
even if you have if you're doing a tasting, do a bit more research as well. Like a lot of times you just pick a bottle and you don't really think about it, but you know, sit down maybe a day or two before and actually write down your own notes and stuff like that. You know,
Year or two before, whatever.
yeah, you know, like you are the, I guess, expert, but it doesn't mean that you have to have all this wealth of knowledge right off the bat. You know, learn. And to be honest, like today I was learning a lot about Lafroig and how they do their process, just because I'm doing a tasting with them soon. So it's like I just want to get educated, and they're going to teach me stuff as well. So it's just trying to be prepared at least.
Yeah, be curious for sure.
Yeah,
that's super important. But yeah, no, yeah, I didn't know how far we wanted to get into this like personal tasting, because I was thinking we could also talk about hosting whiskey events.
Yeah.
So if you want to host a whiskey event, I don't want to pour out everything that I've learned, but I've learned a lot of things. Like if you want to have brands pay for it, it's easier to get a single brand to pay for it and get them under an umbrella of ideas of what it is that you want to do.
So vertical tasting,
it's easier
right?
Correct, and it's easier for the brand to want to jump in on it if you can provide something to the brand. As Instagrammers, a lot of you guys can provide eyes to the brand, and that's one thing. But if you can't provide eyes to the brand, a lot of brands are just looking for accounts. So if you want to host at a venue that will give you,
no, Eric, wait, just FYI, you're going to San Francisco Whiskey Fest. Hit me up, because I have a bunch of people that I know that are going, so I can connect you with them. I'm not going.
Why don't you go?
It's too far, man, and it's expensive. It's like
get some free tickets.
$400 a ticket plus.
Talk to a couple of brands.
Yeah, no, that's try to happen.
Carry a box. You'll never buy another ticket.
Plus, like, you know how it is, but yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, there are a lot of brands that want to get new accounts at different venues and locations, and if you can provide an event where they can launch that, that can help them by getting exposure and talking to that venue. So
plus you wouldn't have to host it either, because so they'll have a brand ambassador there.
Yeah, because that's what they usually do. So you don't have to have a regular event if you don't want to. If you know you have a bunch of whiskey loving friends, you can do an event like that. Grab a bunch of Instagrammers, throw it together, and have a giant event and have a brand pay for it all. Yeah. You can do that. Just organize it and be done with it.
I agree.
Just know what it is that the brands are looking for off the bat. A lot of them are looking for, again, eyes, Instagram, via whatever.
Eyes, new accounts.
They're looking for, correct. They're looking for engagement. They're looking for new followers. They're looking for accounts. That's a giant one, because that for them, that's making money.
But man, no, like when I think about it more, like when you're saying how like 2 bottles at a time, I think it's great. And then doing verticals is always fun too. You know, with the Glenfiddich one, right? The 12, the 15, the 18 comes out.
21.
Maybe a 21.
30.
Yeah. And to be honest, I actually learned more from a vertical tasting than the all-around tasting in my journey right now. Like at the start, that would have been amazing, because then I could try all the different regions.
Right.
But right now, it's a fun guessing game when you're trying to compare a 12 to a 15 to an 18 if you can do it. I'm not saying that some of the times for me it's like, oh, I like the 15 more than the 18 or whatever like that. So the high number doesn't mean jack shit.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I know people who say that they can, but I mean, unless you're really tuned to specific flavors, like Glenfiddich 12 tastes like Glenfiddich 12 all day long. Yeah. And the 15 and 18 are sherried, and they taste so different. Like if you sat them side by side, you could taste the similarities, because the distillery like personality definitely comes across in all their bottles, but they're so different. You'd be like, okay, these two are sherried, and this one's definitely like a lot more ex bourbon cast with a touch of sherry, but it definitely tastes super fruity, and that's what makes it nice. And yeah, like Jason Whiskey Wise says, also same thing with you saying, like if you have a vertical tasting, once you've experienced a number of whiskeys, so you have an idea of what you like, and if you find a brand you like, a vertical is great because you already know, okay, this is what their regular spirit tastes like.
What's it called? The house flavor or whatever it's called, or
like I don't know. Is there a technical name for that?
Yeah, it's like their house profile or whatever it's called. It's their underlying
profile. I've heard before. Yeah.
I think it's house taste or house note or something like that.
Oh, I've never heard it called anything like specific.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool though.
Yeah, just like Balvenie, that honey goes through all the things, but then they have the different changes and nuances and stuff like that. And that's just because like I have quite a bit of Balvenie, so I kind of follow that myself. But I would have loved to take a tasting and stuff. House style, is that what it's called? Because I always think of it as like I always think of it as like a flavor profile. Yeah. But yeah, if that's their house style, then absolutely, and you can taste that across all their bottlings, and that's really cool. And sometimes you can't. Again, like. So we've talked about this, but Macallan, the number 4. The reason I like the number 4 so much is because their new make spirit tastes like apples, and you don't get it in anything else they do. Bad. And then as soon as you try the number 4, or you try the new make at the distillery, you're like, wait, why can't I have this more often? Like,
why aren't you guys doing something with this? But they're known for their sherry, and that overpowers a lot.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's what they do.
I'm very excited if we go to the UK and go to McAllen. I want to taste that freaking new distillate.
Heck yeah.
Oh man, I kind of want to pick like bottles of it and just be like, oh no,
I don't
this
know
is
about
just
taking
reviews,
bottles.
man. What are you talking about? You know, this is vodka. What are you talking about?
We probably talk to some people and see if we can't do something along those lines.
Yeah,
I'm sure it could be done.
No, but yeah, what do you guys think? I bet like Jason Whiskey Wise probably hosts like stuff every day, right? He said I think
he said he had 5 events.
Yeah, and see, like, it's fun, like, but it's also like you can learn as well, right? Don't think that you're just there because you're the high end of it. So,
ooh, there's a new Gordon and MacPhail Mortlock cast strength. Nuh-uh. The Gordon and MacPhail Mortlock 15 is like a very sweet Mortlock, and it's very meaty, and it's really good. That's like, I have 3 IBs of Mortlock.
What do you mean by
meaty?
meaty?
I'm surprised.
Like meaty, like Isla meaty?
Like in terms of, so no, not like Boonhaven meaty. That's like freaking, oh my gosh, it's like eating ocean meat. It's so good. But like, no, it's just like, it's got more viscosity. It has like I almost said a tender mouthfeel, but it's got like a palpable mouthfeel to it.
Okay. I think I know where you're going.
Eric, wait, you should have gotten a private tour of the brand ambassador. Dude, they changed your life.
Yeah. I'm surprised, but well.
Yeah.
There you
that's
go.
a good
Savory.
time.
Yeah, like Cody said, savory.
Yeah, savory. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I had like Nicola, the European brand ambassador for them. Nicola was the one who walked me and my brother around. Like, we just had a baller time.
Yeah.
It was so good.
No, I just like more and more I do this stuff. Like people, like I know some people ask me if I do tastings and stuff like that. I don't think I'm smart enough.
It's not. It's not that. It's just be
dumb.
versed upon whatever it is you're going to be doing the tasting on. Like,
He's
just
a smart one.
you collect all these notes in your head from going to events, from learning these things, and it all gets stored away in your brain, and then it's all just a matter of like putting it together into a thing that you can share with other people.
I guess
that's all it is.
I guess I'm a bit weird, or maybe I would call it selfish, where a lot of the notes, like that's probably why I don't do a lot of reviews anymore. Notes are very personal.
To a degree,
You know
but
what I mean?
I'm telling you. So
Especially the memories that I get locked on with certain whiskeys anyway.
So that's a really good. I mean, man, today's topic is perfect for this. So that's a really good reason, as an Instagrammer, you should host tastings with friends. And I love doing that with my own friends because it lets me know. Like, I have a friend of mine I found out has a super palate, and there are times when I can't think of a note, and I'll be like, "Dude, what's this weird thing I'm getting?" And he'll be like, "Dude, it's
bam
black Sharpie," and I'm like, "Holy piss!" It literally.
I need to bring
smells
you
and
around
tastes like
all
a
day.
Sharpie. Not all the time, but I mean, like, no, because everybody's palate's pretty decent.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. You just have to exercise it. But as soon as I get around him, I know, like, if there's something I can't figure out, I know I can just be like, dude, Zach, help me out. Like, what is this that I'm tasting? I know what it's between, or I can figure out, like, what type of flavor profile it should be in. But sometimes naming it is the pain in the butt.
How about this idea, man? If we go to the UK, I don't know how long we're gonna spend there.
Have a tasting.
With people.
Let's do it.
How about that? Hey, Jason, let us know if you're up for that. That'd be pretty cool. How cool would that
Where's
be?
he in? Is he in Edinburgh?
Nah, but he's in London, or in outskirts of London, so we could do it there.
Oh, we get it sorted.
Yeah, or we could
Get a bunch of.
we could do hopping, man. We could do freaking Edinburgh and stuff. We could do a Whiskey Untitled freaking tour. How about that?
That could be fun. Oh, that'd be wild.
That'd be really cool. I don't think anyone's done that yet. Let's do it.
I mean, I'd be happy with one.
All these
tasting,
ideas,
let alone
man.
multiples. That's a good idea.
Same. No, that'd be really cool. To be honest, and the one thing I did enjoy when I was with that Women Who Whiskey event and stuff like that, the level of how smart some of these women were in their journey, and they were helping other people out. Like, like you said, like, hey, people, like, what's this flavor? And I'm just like, holy bejeebies, like, this is what I want. I would love to have that. Sadly, a lot of the time it's me with my glass and you guys every Tuesday kind of bouncing stuff off. But, like, that's where I think that if you start doing hosting tastings, even if it doesn't grow great the first time, if you guys keep working at it and stuff like that, you're going to grow as a whiskey person, and it's going to help out along the way. Yeah, Millwrights, I don't know, Jason could hook us up. He probably know.
I'd be happy to plan for one venue, let alone multiples.
Hey, bro, and this might even be able to pay for a trip. Charge a ticket.
That I don't.
$20.
I don't know London rules. I know in America we can't do that. At least in DC area, I've looked into doing that before. There's so many technicalities.
Or we can teach people how to use Instagram for social media. I don't know. Crap. I'm just trying to find a way to get a free flight over, bro.
Actually, sounds like a good idea. That's not even the expensive part of the trip.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, small things. Offset certain costs. I'm good.
That's a good idea.
But no, yeah, Milroy's love that place. That'd be pretty cool to do. Freaking us behind the bar pouring, you guys.
They do. So Curious Jen just said women actually have more sense receptors. That's absolutely correct. Women.
I agree, Jen.
I'm amazed at some of the things that women are better at than men, like especially men without training. But I won't.
Maybe that's why. Like,
there's a couple things I know for sure.
Maybe that's why back in the day everyone's like, "Oh no, this is a man's drink," because then they knew the women could overtake that shit and be like, "I'm schooling you today."
They have a better sense of smell, especially when they're pregnant. That's a whole different issue. But man, they have a better sense of smell.
Yeah,
just the way it is.
Yeah, all the little things add up, man. You know how it is. Just telling you, like, oh yeah, it's only gonna cost me $1,000 trip, and then you're like fucking $5,000 later. Where the fuck did it all go? Macallan 30, Macallan 30.
$450. Most expensive part is buying all the Macallan. I didn't even buy the Macallan ice cream the last time I was there, so calm down.
Oh, so this time he's gonna buy a freaking huge ass pint and shit.
Oh, I'll buy the Macallan ice cream this time. I was sad that I literally passed it up and I was like,
he's gonna drizzle.
When am I gonna get to have it?
Yeah.
When am I gonna get to have it? Oh my goodness. Is that what it was from? Picking berries? Oh my gosh. The history of humans.
So they smelled the berries, they just knew it, and they're like, oh, this is good shit. This is the poisonous shit.
That's probably why they have better senses of smell. That makes sense.
Yeah, probably.
While the guys are out killing deer, we can probably smell deer feces really well.
Probably they just wrapped themselves in deer poop. That's why they didn't know. You know? Oh, it smells like poop. I'm good.
Oh my gosh, can't wait to go hunting next month.
All right, guys. On that note, bottle shot.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, guys, I can't hear you, but let me know in my Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna post Instagram of this bottle sometime, and then let's put a hashtag on it or something.
Deer droppings. It's called scat.
Yeah,
they have a name for it. Scat. Gross.
How about this? I gotta figure out the thing, but it's gonna be hard for me to ship to Canada and the UK, but I have to figure it out. If not, I'll save it for you guys to visit.
Or ship one to me and I'll ship it to Canada or UK. I don't care.
Okay. It's a lot, man.
Ship like that all the time, apparently.
No joke, dude. Like, I swear, my post office, like, shakes. Like, probably watch this show. They shake this stuff. It's crazy.
I go to, like, small mom and pop parcel shipping stores.
That's what I go to.
Oh, they always ask, like, hey, what's in this? And I'm like, oh, it's glass that I'm sending somebody. Or I'll be like, oh, it's like a maple syrup sample I got from a friend who went to Vermont.
Yeah, for me, it's more like, this sounds like liquid.
It's none of your business.
Your name's drinking Caveman.
So if you have the 1 ounce sample bottles, fill it all the way to the top.
Yeah, I do that too. I swear,
man.
If you fill it all the way to the top, lady is like freaking psychic. But yeah,
you just look guilty. That's all.
Yeah, he's not sending, neutral spirit. He's not sending bitters. Yeah, Miss sends me barbecue sauce. Yeah. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. I guess I didn't know that Whiskey and the Six was doing a show, but we do this show every Tuesday at 5:30, 8:30. We do not change our times. We're not those type of people.
8:30 Eastern. Join us or die.
I don't know what's going to be like with daylight savings off and stuff.
Olive oil. I'm like, olive juice? If you just mouth olive juice.
All right.
It looks like something else.
I know. All right, guys. Thank you again so much. Again, we do have a Patreon. If you guys are awesome, or even more awesome than you actually are.
Oh, you didn't even shout out the new Patreon people.
I shut them out last week.
Oh.
Yeah. But still, Martin, Alex, Leo.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you guys so much. Anonymous, Scotch Just Dummies. You guys are in the chat. You guys are awesome. Feel free. $1. It helps us. It helps me get this show running and making sure it's on time. And yeah, help me go to Scotland.
Also, nothing will help you to be on time.
Also, I have pins that I can't find. But I have pins somewhere.
Pins? Those are exciting.
Yeah, I have Drink Caveman pins. Take a look.
Never mind. I'll ask later. I'll ask next week.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And again, this is the Whiskey Untitled. And what do we say, Wally?